Hello, and welcome to yet another fine installment in our webinar series, where we talk about all the good stuff Bitrix24 has to offer to its clients
and partners.
My name is Lana, and this is my lovely colleague here.
Am I lovely, though?
Sure.
I guess I am today. My name is Alex, and what is the topic?
Yes, today we are going to talk about tasks and projects in Bitrix24.
And let's do it.
Let's get started. If you're a new member of Bitrix24, here are 3 things that you need to do before going to the tasks and projects, right? And the first one is you need to invite your team members. So for this, we have to go to the invite button here and click plus. And then you can see all the different ways how you can invite team members to your account, but we are going to focus on the main 2. The first one is via the link, so you just copy a link and send it to the team member. And the second one is by email or a phone number. So yes, once you do that, you need to do a company structure, right? So you know which person belongs to which department. So for that, we go to the company here. And here you can see we have like Bitrix24, and we have like 2 departments, sales departments and video production department. So what you do, as you can see the administrator, right, of the account, which is me now. So you are going to just drag and drop the person to the right department, right? So here we have Sam, who's going to be in charge of video production, and he's going to have Adeline as his employee, and Archie is in the sales department. Yes. Right. And this is very important for example, setting up the access permissions. Yeah, so you, of course, need to do a company structure. It's a really important step. And then, for example, if you have been using some other software solution and you already have some data there, you need to transfer it to Bitrix24, right? So for this, we go to the applications market, and here you can see the section migration to Bitrix24. So you go to all, and you can see all the different software solutions like commonly used, which is like Pipedrive, Asana, Jira, Zoho, and you just download and install it. And yeah, you can basically transfer the data, pretty simple. Yeah, so once you do all these 3 steps, you can finally go into the tasks and projects. So this is what we're going to do right now.
Yeah. All right, so we're back into Bitrix24, and here we open the tasks and projects section. And for some of you who are here for the first time, it might get a little bit overwhelming. Lots of buttons, lots of controls, lots of menus. But don't worry, we're going to talk about each one of them and explain what they do and why you need them. So first of all, let's start with the top menu here. We got tasks, which is basically a list of all your tasks here. As you can see, we got some going on. And next up is the ongoing section, right? So this filters out only the tasks that are currently in progress that you started and you're working on. Next up is the assisting section, right? So these are the tasks. As you can see, there's currently none. These are the tasks that you are co-working on with somebody, right? So you're not the main assignee, but you're helping out someone else to work on that task. Next up, we have the set by me section here. And these are, obviously, these are the tasks that have been set by you, that you send to someone. And the last one is following. So following are the tasks where you are listed as an observer. And observer is a person who is not actively working on a task, but they kind of need to be there to be in the know, to supervise that task, to kind of be in the loop, to know what's going on. So yeah, usually if you're the manager, right, you might be often get added to different tasks as an observer, just to know what's going on inside that task and maybe step in if necessary, right? Next, we have the projects section here, and this is where all your projects are listed. We currently have only one project that we're working on, and this is, we are really working on that task hard, so please appreciate this. Create a webinar on tasks, that's it. And next up is the Scrum section. And Scrum, for those of you who know what Scrum is, and for those of you who don't, Scrum is a special type of methodology special way of working with tasks. There's certain, terminology, certain ways. It's mostly used by IT companies, but it technically can be adapted to any business's needs, right? So we have all these Scrum tools here in Bitrix24. You can use them. You can adapt them to your project management process. So yeah, it's a really great tool, but maybe for some other webinar. And finally, we have the supervising section here. And this is where all the employees that you're managing, right? And we being the administrator of the account, obviously we have all of our people here listed, and you can see what tasks, how many tasks they have on their hand, whether they, are responsible for that task, and it's been set by them or their assistant, and their efficiency. And the efficiency is basically, it's the percentage of tasks that were completed on time and without any objections. And if you see that there's too many tasks that one person is working on, you can step in and maybe assign these tasks to someone else or change that deadline. That allows you to manage workload and distribute it more evenly, among your team. So that's really good stuff for managers. And the efficiency section here, something that I mentioned before, there's your percentage of completed tasks on time without any objections. 100% is great efficiency. So so far we're doing good. And moving on back to our initial task section. So here we have the create button, obviously, create a new task, which we're going to do in just a couple of minutes. The search filter, you can use to search through all your tasks. We don't have many so far, but once you start working, you got hundreds and maybe thousands of them. So that makes it easier to find the task that you need, maybe from some previous projects, using all these filters. And here we have the actual field where all your tasks are listed. And we have several what we call task view modes. And a task view mode is a way that your tasks are presented in Bitrix24, and we have several of them. So the basic one is called the list, right? Which is right here. Basically, all your tasks are listed. You can sort them by name, by activity, by their deadline, who they were created by, and so on. Next one is the deadline mode. As you can see, it's the same tasks, but presented in a different way. There's this Kanban board, right? Different columns that represent different stages. In our case, it's their deadline, right? So it's very useful if you have a lot of tasks on your hands and you don't know what tasks you should focus on first, and you switch to deadline mode, and you can see, there's one coming up today, so maybe you should work on this first. And this one tasks and this another task, they coming up only next week, or this week and next week, so they can wait. Really useful when you're working on a lot of tasks at the same time. And next up, we have the planner mode. And here, unlike the previous one, it's the same Kanban board thing, right, with the columns, but here you can completely customize them. You can create new ones. You can set different names. You can set different stages to accommodate your project management process. And once a task status is changed, you can move it around to any stage here. So that's how it works. Well, let's move it back. Now, next up is the calendar mode. And again, it's the same tasks, but they're presented in the calendar grid based on their deadline. Again, if you're planning your activity for a week ahead or for a month ahead, it could be useful to see which days you are most busy on and which days you have some available, options, available slots to plan out your activity. And finally, we have the Gantt chart mode. And Gantt chart, as you may know, is a tool that's mostly used by companies that have to manage long, complicated, complex projects. They have a lot of tasks going on, and there have to be dependencies set between those tasks. For example, one task cannot start unless another starts, or they both have to finish at the same time, and so on. And Gantt chart in Bitrix24 gives you all of that. We have all 4 types of dependencies here. And but for our needs, it's just kind of too much. So we're going to go back and switch to the basic list mode here. So that was a quick overview of the main tasks menu in Bitrix24. And now we're actually going to go and create our first task. Let's do it.
So now you can also wondering probably what are these, like my items. And here is just a little counter showing you how many overdue tasks you have and actually some new comments probably. So you can just quickly go here to check them out. And right now we are going to move on to creating our first task. And here you can see we have 3 tasks already for a webinar. First of all, we have one for script, one for editing, and one for finding a filming location.
There's something
missing. Yeah, there's something missing. So we are going to create one for actual filming process. So let's do just that. And yeah, so we need a name, which is like
film?
Yeah,
Yes.
filming a webinar, right? Yeah. And now we are going to do like a task description, right? Here we have it so fast.
That was convenient.
Yeah, that was pretty easy, yeah. So now we have all the different options here. And well, we are going to explain it to you. So the first one is a Copilot.
Mm-hmm.
And you may ask what Copilot is. So Copilot is an AI-powered tool, like assistant, who like basically helps you with all of your workflow to like simplify it. So you don't have to
in terms of tasks, so you can use Copilot to create task descriptions. You just give it the basic outline, and it will turn it into a kind of full-fledged, complete task description. You can use it to generate ideas. That's also great. If you don't have, for example, we need to film a webinar in an unusual style. So you can ask Copilot to come up with a couple ideas. That's good too. And you can also use it just to create checklists, right? And organize big chunks of text into more kind of structured form. So that's really useful too.
And we have a separate webinar for Copilot with Alex. So if you want to check this out, go to the description down below. Mm-hmm. And well, next we have pretty simple things. You can attach a file, you can create a document inside a task, and you can mention like some person, for example, in the task, or a quote. And then we have like 3 options for a checklist. First of all, we have a checklist which can be made by Copilot, again, as Alex just mentioned. And we have like checklists that you can do manually by yourself. Yes. So then we have an assignee, and we are going to add, of course, not me, we're going to add Archie.
Yeah, by default, it's you, the assignee. Yeah. But most of the times you will want to have someone else do the task for you. So, yeah.
And then next to it, we have also like created by, which is, pretty self-explanatory. Then we have participant and observers. So we're going to add a participant, which is going to be Sam.
Yeah, participants are people who, since there can only be one assignee for a particular task, but it doesn't mean that you cannot have more people working on that task. And that's why we have participants. So these are the people that are helping the assignee to complete these tasks in its various stages.
Exactly.
So you can add, more participants if you want. So yeah.
We're going to add an observer, which is going to be me here. Yeah. And of course you have to set a deadline. So I think we can do like maybe 10.
All right.
Right now. And we can do a time planning option too. So you can just, time planning, this is like how much time you assign for this task. For example, you assign like 5 hours.
Yeah, because it's kind of like with the filming webinar thing, right? So we know exactly where we'll be filming. So we know the location, and they only gave us, 5 hours, right? So we want to make sure we start at this exact time and we finish before, this particular time. So and that's why it could be useful in these cases. So, for example, we start at 9 a.m. and then we're
give like 5 hours.
5 hours, right? So this way, everyone inside the task will know when it should start and when it's supposed to be finished. Yeah, you can finish it before that,
sure,
right? But obviously not after. So
so once we do that, next we have task status summary, and task status summary is a really like useful thing that you can have in the task. For example, if you're an observer and you're just like a manager, for example, right? So you manager in this task, and you need to know the outcome that was like right at the end, and you don't want to follow like all of the comments, all of the action that was going on inside. So you just want the last piece of information. And yeah, so you can, this option is required for an assignee to put a task status summary. So you will see like a little conclusion at the end.
Yeah, and the great thing is the assignee will not be able to close their task without submitting
the summary.
Yeah, without submitting the summary. And again, that could be useful for some creative tasks, like when there's lots of, opinions, discussion going on, and there's hundreds of comments. And for you as as an observer or as the manager, you don't want to kind of know all of that. You don't want to know their thought process. You just want to know what the outcome is, like you said. And that's why you go inside the task, you read the task status summary. Okay, we chose this option because whatever. And that's all you need to know. So yeah, that kind of simplifies the task management process.
And here you can see like more options. Yes, so we just go over the few of them. So you can just attach this task to the existing project. So here we have like a create a webinar on task. So we're going to attach it to this one. And you have a time tracking option, which is a time, like it's a little like counter that starts, for example, like if you like an assignee can see this tracker if you like enable this option. So this is useful for like an hourly paid employees.
like freelancers, for example. If you're working with someone who is get paid by hour and you want to know how much time they spend on a particular task, that's why I activate this option. And when the person starts working on the task, the timer starts running, and once they finish it, you will know how many hours and minutes they spend on completing that task. So in our case, we have kind of already set the duration, so we don't need it. But if it was a different case, it could be useful.
Yes. So and also you can add a reminder about this task, and you can make this task repetitive. For example, if it's a weekly planner thing, right? And so we're just going to create a task.
There's also some other options there, but they're mostly for like very specific cases, so we're not going to go into all.
Yeah, that's like a really complicated task, but for now it's going to be fine. So so here we can see our task, and now Alex here is going to show you what is inside the task.
All right, so we're back into tasks, and right now we're going to go inside one of these wonderful tasks and see what is happening. Okay, so this is one of the tasks that we are working on, and it's writing a script for a webinar, which we did really great. So as you can see, there's a task description here, and there's something that Lena mentioned previously, a quote, right? So our colleague, Delene Ross, she really wants us not to forget to mention task automation. We won't. And we got the checklist here. A couple of the items on the checklist have been crossed out because we're going to finish working on them, but there's still a lot more. And we can also see the file that's attached. There's different script ideas that we're considering, and the time tracker thing, right? So obviously we started working on a task and it's going on, but if you want to take a pause, you hit the pause, right? So it stops, and then when you're ready to continue working on the task, you start it again and it starts running. Next up, we have the comments section, and this is again something that you also mentioned previously. We have a little discussion going on here, and as you can see, we can post comments, we can reply, we can quote people's comments, and we can leave reactions, likes, right? So I'm gonna give you a kiss, right?
Thank you.
And so on. So that's what's going on here. And once you finish the task, you can choose one of the comments, like this one, to be task status summary. And there's it is. There's not many comments here, but if we had hundreds of them, it would always stay pinned to the top. So that's make it really useful. And every time you go inside the task, you see, oh, that's what the outcome is. Next up, we have this little section here, and there's some basic information about the task. And what's interesting is this button. This button has different communication options that you can use when working on a task. The first one is obviously the, let's start with the open chat. So you can use the text chat, just regular messenger. And if you open this, everyone who's inside the task will be invited to a chat, and there you can discuss some task-related issues. If you want to go a little bit more and you want to have an online meeting, you can start a video call, again, with all the people from here, right inside the task. Could be really useful. And it's all inside Bitrix24. So, I mean, it's not some third-party tools. These are all things, and these are all tools inside Bitrix24. It's make it really useful. You can create a post to feed, which we're going to show you later how it's done, and create an event in your calendar. It could be useful if you, for example, want to set up a meeting to discuss something, and you just invite all these people to your calendar, and when you create that event, they will be notified, receive notification, and they will be able to accept or decline and confirm their participation there. And there's some other things here. You can see all the people that are working on the task. So that's a quick overview of how you work on a task in Bitrix24.
So now we are going to move on to projects.
Yeah, so we're going to show you how to create a project and how to work with an existing project. Let's do it.
And now we are going to show you how to work with projects. So here you can see we already have an existing project, which is a Create Webinar on Tasks. So first of all, we are going to show you what is inside. And so we open it. And so here you can see basically a project is like a mini Bitrix24 inside your account. So here you can see all of the tasks that we showed before, which are like related to the existing project. And so here you can see you have a feed, you have a calendar, a drive, all of the options. Yeah, so we go to the feed. Yeah, it's like in your account. Here you can see all of the like related stuff. So we found a filming location, as you can see. So we asking our team members to share their opinions. So it's like more like a closed community about like one project. So you don't have to, you have like all of the involved members here so they can all share their insights, but it's not available to like everyone in the company, right? So
yeah,
it's very useful.
Yeah, the great thing is that you can, it's only accessible to people who are working on this project. And again, you can change this access level in the project settings, which we're going to show you a little bit later.
Yes, so, and also we have a calendar. And as Alex showed you before in the view modes, calendar is just like a way how you can see all of your tasks, which is all of your tasks. So this is what we have here. And also we have Drive. So it's like a place where you can store all of the files. Yeah, so which is like, again, related to the project, which is like very convenient. And so this is what we have inside. So it's like a mini, and you can create like polls here. So so like it's like a mini Bitrix24. And so now we are going to create.
Yeah, let's show how to create a new project.
Yes, so we are going to create a project about the next webinar, which is going to be about the CRM. So
I see there's a project and there's a work group. So what's the difference?
Yes, so we have two types of projects. And a project is like a small, it's like it has a start date and end date, right? So it's just like a one-time thing. It's just like an existing, but it starts and finishes. But, and again, you can just add different people there, add different team members. And a work group, it's like a place where you have all the different projects inside, all the different tasks related to, like, for example, one department. Right, so you have a designer team, or you have a sales team, or a marketing team, and they all work on different tasks, but they're all connected to this work group, so they just have their own place to work, right? So they don't scattered all around the account.
Yeah, so basically like a work group, I guess it's like a department, right, inside a company, or a group of people that work on similar tasks.
Yeah.
So one work group can collaborate in multiple projects.
Yes, and it doesn't have an start date and end date. It's just like ongoing. Yeah, so for this, for the sake of this webinar, we're going to create a project.
All right.
Yeah. So we are going to create a project name, which is about the CRM, right? And then you have a privacy levels. So you have, of course, public ones, so everyone can join and view the details. Then we have a private, which is like by invitation only. And you can even make it hidden, so nobody will see it anywhere. And we are going to create and make it private for now. And here you can assign, like, of course, like you have an owner, which is me now, and you can assign some, for example, some teams. So we're going to add Sam right here and Delian. And so here we have a new project on CRM, creating a webinar about the CRM. So that was it. And what are we going to talk about now, Alex?
Next up is, this is kind of quick overview of all the features that are available on the free plan in Bitrix24, but we have a little bit more than that. We actually have a lot more than that. And there's some of the features that are not available on the free plan, but they are available on our commercial plans. And that's what we're going to show you right now, because some of them are really useful and we just wanted to demonstrate them. So let's go ahead and check out some of their premium features. Okay, so let's see what we have here. What we have here is the Bitrix24 account with everything unlocked. It's as premium as you can get. And the first thing that catches our attention is this nice green button here that says clock in. What it is, it's basically an online time clock that you can use to track employee work hours, which is really useful when you have a lot of people in your company. Now, let's see. To start your working day, all you have to do is clock in, right? And the timer starts running. Now, when you want to go on lunch break or, any other break, you just hit the pause button, right? And then when you're ready to continue working, you hit the continue button. It's easy as that. Finally, when you're ready to finish your working day, you clock out, and that's it. Now, being the manager, you might ask, hey, where does all this information go? Where all this information is stored right here in the company section. Remember where Lena showed you how to set up the company structure? So we got it right here. And we need the time and reports section and the work time tab right here. So as you can see, I am the account administrator, so I have access to all of the people in my account. But if you're just the manager, right? So you'll only have access to people who you are supervising and no one else for various security reasons. Now, we have here is the time that me and my employees spend at work. So I've been working quite a lot. These guys and you too, not as much as I'd like to, but you're still doing
our days off.
You're still doing a great job. And you can see, for example, right here. So we have Archie Becker, and we know exactly that he clocked in at 10:50 a.m., which is a little bit late. And probably I want to talk about this with him, right? So I want him to, come to work a little bit earlier. But
he finished like his 8 hours. So
he worked for 8 hours, so that's cool. He's all right. Right, so that was the work time section where you can check all the hours that your employees worked, and it's really useful for managers. Now, going back to tasks and projects, sometimes it makes sense to communicate with your team using some other options, except for, like in addition to the chat and the online meetings, video calls that we have, and we got something that we call announcements and polls, right? So to access those, you go to the feed section, and here, for example, you want to create a company-wide announcement, right? There's some important information you want to deliver to all of your team. So you type in this information right here. Hey, that's important, right? There you go. And you post this message to all of the employees, or you can choose some specific departments and people you want to share it with, right? And then you hit the send button. So when you've done that, everyone will get a notification, and they will get this little button that says mark as read, right? So by doing this, you'll know exactly how many people got your message and whether they read it or not. It's really useful when you want to deliver some important news to all the team, and you want to make sure they have confirmed, that they read this.
And what if I want to do, for example, to get some employees' opinions? What do you do then?
Well, in this case, you might want to use a poll, right? So here, again, it's all in the feed section. So let's say we want to find out what what do you guys think about the next topic for a webinar? Right?
Yeah, so what is going to be the next topic?
Hey, what do you think, right? So what do you think? Oh, sorry. Let's ask them, right? So what should be the topic of our next webinar? And what options do we have? Let's say we want to do a webinar on CRM. That's a good topic. And maybe another one on automation, but we're not sure exactly which one. It should be automation. There you go. Oh, I'm not too good at, typing. Yes, that's perfect. So we have these options. You can allow multiple choice, but, that's not for us. And we post it. Okay. Go straight to the feed, and now people can vote. I personally vote for CRM. So, yeah.
Yeah, same as me.
And, there's some discussion. You can leave comments. You can leave likes, reactions, all that kind of stuff. Really good. And it's a nice thing to create like a friendly atmosphere inside your team and get some discussion going on. All right, so there's one more tool we would like to tell you about, and that's automation. And automation in Bitrix24 helps you to streamline, the process of working with tasks and make some of the operations a little bit easier. And so that's what we find it here in the friendly robot icon. We click on that, and we find ourselves in the automation rules and triggers section. And in this section here, some of you might ask, hey, what's a trigger is? Well, a trigger is a certain event that has to happen inside Bitrix24, and automation rule is an action that will happen once, a trigger is activated, right? So what could a trigger be? Oh, it could be, for example, task status change, right? So when a task goes from in progress to overdue, that's a trigger. And, let's use that. Let's say we want to have this thing going. Every time a task goes overdue, we want to send a message to a group chat, to specific group chat, to attract people's attention there and, urge them to take some action. So let's see what we have here. We want to select a trigger, and we have a bunch of triggers here, and let's choose this one, right? Follow overdue task, because that's what we need. There's nothing else we need to change here. It's perfect as it is. So that's the trigger. And now we have to add a rule. And the rule would be send message, right? So we have send email, employee information, add notification, blah, 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 and we go to the group chat, okay? So gives us more options this time. And of course, we have to select the chat where we're going to send a message to, and that's webinars. And the sender is going to be me, just me, because I'm the manager. Everyone's afraid of me. And we just type some message. And we also want to send a link to the particular task that's gone overdue. To do so, we copy a link to any message. In this case, it's just some random, to any task, it's just some random task with ID 238. And to make this rule work for any task, not just this one, we have to replace the actual ID with a variable, right? So we go here and choose a variable, it's ID, and that's it. We hit save here, and then we hit another save to confirm all the changes we made. Now, to test out if this actually works, we go to our tasks and change their deadline. Let's go and see, change this deadline, and change this deadline, and change this deadline, right? So now you can see there's a bunch of tasks that are overdue, and we got some notifications here, but what we're interested in whether people in the chat got the message. So let's go and see. Okay, so we'll open our chat section, and we go here, and boom, see, we got all these messages saying that, all these tasks with different IDs, as you can see here, that they have gone overdue, and, these people, they have to take some action. And it says here, send by automation rule. So that tells us that this thing is working, and it's really useful. Again, you can choose lots of other things. You can send notifications to people, you can send emails, and do some other things. So that's really useful when you're working with a lot of tasks and you want to simplify some of your operations. Now, there's one more message we would like to tell you, and that is our partners. So stay tuned.
And now, as we've covered all of the little things about tasks and projects, you still may feel overwhelmed by the amount of things you need to do by yourself. And in order to help you with that, we have partners.
Who are these partners?
Partners are companies, organizations that were certified by Bitrix24 in order to help you with implementation services, training, and customization of our product.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a lot of our partners scattered all around the globe.
Yeah.
So there is a good chance that there is a partner in your country, in your city.
But how do I find these partners?
Yes, for this, it's pretty simple. You need to go to the upgrade button here, and you can see implementation request button. So you click here, and there's going to be a button like submit a request.
Uh-huh.
Yes, so you click on the submit request button, and you'll be presented with a form that you need to put your contact details. And in the comment section, you just need to mention what kind of assistance you would like to receive. For example, you need help with automation in tasks and projects, right? So, and once you send it, you will be contacted by several partners from your area, from your country, or even your city. And then you can just have some conversations with them and decide which one suits you best.
Yep, that's it. And I guess that about does it for today's webinar. And we would like to thank you guys for watching. We hope it's been educational for you.
And somewhat entertaining.
We're going to try it. And if you like this video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel to stay tuned for more Bitrix24 webinars, and they're coming. And that's it. Bye. See you next time.
Yeah, bye.